I'm hearing like, yeah, they don't give us, if y'all don't give us what we want, like, we sitting out.
The WNBA, one of the biggest stars in the WNBA, is talking about a strike because the WNBA has grown in popularity over the last season, and I think that's due. A lot of that is due because of Caitlin Clark. But let's take a look, man. The WNBA and a potential strike.
Some new questions tonight about the future of the WNBA, players' contracts after this year's seasons, and what will happen there, especially with one of the most popular players in the league now threatening the possibility of a strike. There's talks towards a collective bargaining agreement happening now between the Players Association and the league. And Chicago Sky forward Angel Reese says she wants in on those negotiations. Listen.
I need to get in the meetings because I'm hearing like, yeah, they don't give us, if y'all don't give us what we want, like, we sitting out.
Question is, of course, do other big name players want to join in on a possible strike? We've reached out to the league on this. No reply yet. Remember, the WNBA had a massive season last year, record setting for them, the most watched regular season in 24 years. Its biggest attendance total in 22 years. Merch sales up 600%. Steve Patterson is following this story for us. So where does this go here, right? This deal with the WNBA and the Players Association, I think, expires at the end of the summer, right? So this fall. What happens after that?
Well, they're going to get into negotiations to talk about that. And I think it's fair to say at this point that the players just want to be treated and paid like the international celebrities that many of them now are, right? And I think to see that, you have to imagine that the way we see the WNBA is different than how we saw it 5 years ago, 3 years ago, even 2 years ago. And all you have to do is look at this collective bargaining agreement that the players just opted out of, right? It was agreed upon in 2019. So it has things in it like when you fly to an away game, you can fly premium economy. You can stay in your own hotel room. We will pay you your full salary while you're on maternity leave. These are things that are very basic for, I think, any company at this point. But they were seen as a major victory back then. Now things are so much different. Just look at a player like Angel Reese, right? I think at this point, it is fair to say that she is a household name. She will make less than $75,000 on her current salary within the WNBA.
Okay, $75,000 on her current salary in the WNBA, but she makes money outside of the WNBA. She gets endorsements. From what I understand, she makes millions of dollars in endorsements. So just to be clear.
So I think they just want to take it and put it more in line with what it is. She's been getting maligned a little bit on social media, I think, for people taking what she said out of context. Many people saying that she thought she needed to get paid as much as NBA players do. She said that is absolutely not true. There was a tweet where she said, quote, "I love how all y'all have selective hearing. I'm hearing that they don't want to give us what they want. We're sitting out." And that's the truth. I never said anything about the NBA. We are prepared to say at the negotiation table. We also reached out to the Players Association. They sent us a statement saying, quote, "Our members are passionate about the future of the league. We are proud to represent a group of united, dialed in, and pushing for a transformational deal that's fair. We won't comment on individual statements right now." What they want is really simple, Hallie. They want, of course, a little bit higher pay. They want a softer salary cap, and they want benefits like things specifically dialed into childcare, which is very important when you're talking about a league like this. Hallie?
Are these asks in line with the reality of the money that the WNBA has at its disposal right now?
Well, I mean, you led with it, right? The league, again, it's so much different. When you have Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese transforming viewership and sales and people butts in the seats, frankly, the league is taking in much more money, about $200 million last year. Guess how much the players get? Less than 10%. In the NBA, of course, it makes significantly more money, like $10 billion. Those players get about 50% of that pie. That's not to mention, of course, the WNBA much more popular. They just signed a new media rights deal, $2.2 billion. This league has money, Hallie. It's just a...
Take a look at that difference. $2.2 billion for 11 seasons, $76 billion for 11 seasons in the NBA. This, you comparing apples and oranges, man. And, you know, I think it's interesting because Caitlin Clark got a lot of hate her first year, right? It seemed like they was trying to bully her, right? and a lot of people spoke out against her. Angel Reese being one of them. So the situation between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, I think, elevated the game because it brought a lot of eyeballs. A lot of people wanted to see, hey, what's going to happen? But to give like Caitlin Clark as much hate as they've given her, she is one of the main reasons, probably the main reason, the WNBA had its biggest season in its existence. So there's a couple things I want to read here, but let's
about
finish
how you
this up.
distribute that money and how much you think the stars are bringing in. I think it's significant.
Thanks for watching.
Okay, so I looked it up because I understand that the NBA owns, I think, 60% of the WNBA, and it hasn't been profitable since its existence. Okay, so let's take a look. The WNBA, founded in '96, has not turned a profit in a single year of its existence, spanning nearly 3 decades. Exact financial losses are difficult to pinpoint because the league does not publicly disclose detailed financial records, and estimates vary depending on sources. However, based on available information, we can piece together a reasonable estimate. In 2018, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver stated that the WNBA lost an average of over $10 million per year since inception. With the league starting in '97, that would suggest losses of approximately $10 million annually over its first 21 years, '97 to 2017, totaling around $210 million by 2018. More recent reports indicate that losses have increased significantly in later years. For example, in 2024, sources cited by the Washington Post that other estimated the WNBA lost between $40 million and $50 million for that season alone, despite a surge in popularity. If we assume the $10 million average annual loss held steady from '97 through 2019, 23 years totaling $230 million, and then factor in higher reported losses in recent years, say $40 million to $50 million annually from 2020 to 2024, 5 years totaling $200 million to $250 million. A rough estimate of the WNBA's cumulative losses since its inception could range between $430 million to $480 million by the end of 2024. Some posts on X and other commentary suggest losses could exceed $400 million over 28 years, aligning with this range. These figures are speculative to some extent, as the WNBA financial opacity and reliance on NBA subsidies obscure precise accounting. The league's revenue has grown, reaching $60 million in 2019 and an estimated $180 million to $200 million in 2023. But expenses such as the $25 million annual cost for charter flights introduced in 2024 have also risen. Without transparent data, the total loss figure remains an educated approximation, likely falling between $400 million and $500 million since '97, with the possibility of higher losses if recent deficits are understated. The WNBA's persistence, despite these losses, is largely due to the NBA support, which provides an annual subsidy estimated at $12 million to $15 million in some years, and owns roughly 60% of the league, treating it as a long-term investment in women's sports rather than a standalone profit-driven entity. So the NBA owns 60%. They have not turned a profit since its existence. Is now the time to go on strike or ask for more money? I don't know. I mean, I have no idea. That would be a call by the players, right? The players would have to determine, hey, is this the right time to do it? Especially when, even in our best year, we're still not profitable. I mean, at what point does the NBA say, hey, we're going to cut our losses and we're done? At what point? So I don't know if it's smart. I don't know. That would be up to the players. So, but good luck. Good luck, man. Y'all better start treating Caitlin Clark better.
This was probably one of the most intense battles Caitlin Clark faced last season.
Coming off the constant bullying in the league, this was set to be Caitlin Clark's biggest challenge yet, facing off against her biggest rival, Angel Reese. And it showed more than we could have expected.
Last season.
The worst basketball player of all time. Have you ever seen this shit in a game before? This is y'all queen. This is who y'all root for and cry on the internet over every day. The sloth eyes cannot see anything. You Angel Reese fans and Glazers are just different, bro. Like, as long as I've been playing ball and watching games, I don't think I've ever seen that shit happen. This is who y'all root for and cry on the internet every day and just say people hate her for no reason, and all the sloth does is do goofy shit on the basketball court. I swear to God, you guys are absolutely ridiculous. Y'all minds gotta be studied to sit here and be a fan of this shit and cry on the internet and defend this girl every day.